Hey everybody, I'm going to talk a little bit about how new information, things that can, information particularly conflicts with your belief systems and how it can have an effect on your body, your physiology. Excuse me, I still got some things recovering from a house full of sick kids. Um, One of the examples I think most people are familiar with, when you hear something, see something, and you get these what people call chills of confirmation, or you get the goosebumps, or the top of your head feels like it's opening up, and so on. This, in my view, is this when this information or the things that you see, this other stimuli hits you in this point where it really awakens you to your core, and you're like, whoa, that's amazing. Now I get it. It makes so much sense. And meanwhile, your body's like, wait a minute, you're going a little too fast. You can't just integrate this information like this so much. And so we're going to go ahead and make this alarm go through our body and to slow this process down a little bit. And in shamanism, we have a saying, it's okay to take people where they don't want to go. It's just really ethically, morally wrong to take people where they cannot go. And in that, I mean, we wait for these markers, these classic markers, and I've given descriptions in different scenarios of that, to where a person will say something, do something, it lets us know where that person is in their spiritual journey, their spiritual evolution. Like, okay, now they're ready for this next bit of information. Because you can shock someone so much with things that they will see in their shamanic journey, where that little chills of confirmation and that little feeling of an opening up of the head can become a heart attack, can become a total nervous system shutdown, and just send that person into shock and die. And so therefore, we take our steps with people, and people say, well, you shouldn't hide the information. It should be open to everyone. Well, if everyone was ready for it, they'd already have it. The reason we keep it back from people is for their own protection. It also shows you how much the social programming agenda has an effect on the population of the world. Imagine this. Imagine if you grew up to where seeing spirits was normal, talking to people who have died was normal, interaction with the spirit world or different dimensional beings was normal, and the information exchange from those visits and interactions, helped improve a person individually or even society. Be fine. But if you're programmed to anything other than the very narrow-minded, dogmatic religion narrative happens, you are being influenced by evil. You're about to burn in hell forever by this loving God, and so many other things that can be associated with this twistedness of reality. So a lot of, I say this again, a big part of an apprenticeship is to confront yourself about what your belief systems really are. And we get people to answer questions like, what do you think about the spirit world? What if somebody just appeared in front of you all of a sudden and you could see through them and you know that they've been dead for a while? How would you feel? What would you think of? What kind of a reaction do you think you'd have to it? And a lot of people are just like, I don't know. Well, think about it a little bit, because it may happen. The other thing is you can start to read something and start to study some text about something, and you feel yourself starting to open up, like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to continue reading this, because when I read it, something really strange, it feels like it's happening inside my body, inside my mind. And you really start to wonder, what are the powers of these words? And again, ancient religions, dogmatic religions, will try to keep the knowledge away from the people because it won't fit their agenda. Some religions may say, no, if you read these things, you become possessed by demons and devils and so on. No, maybe you're just going to escape the confinement of the religious dogma you grew up in. Whatever the case may be, it's wise to really go through these steps with caution. Whether you're going to do that at your own speed, in increments, if your curiosity is really there and you really want to explore some of these texts or this information, test yourself with it. Is it having negative effects on your life? Is it having negative effects on your body? Maybe then you want to close the book. Maybe you want to grow into it. Maybe you need to relieve yourself of some programming that's actually the cause of your discomfort rather than the information. All of these are real common events in a real shamanic awakening, a true shamanic journey under a real shaman. And I keep making the emphasis on real because there's just too many new age flakes out there that the rest of their dysfunctional friends and community said, oh, yeah, I think you're a shaman. I channeled my cat. It said so too, No, you go through training, you go through experiences, you go through processes to become that person that can be the liaison and even moderator sometimes between information that can be disruptive, to a person, an individual, or a social structure. In some cases that can be beneficial, but it has to be done so in increments. It has to be done so wisely. And to do that, you really have to know the person that you're doing this with or helping through that journey. One of the biggest ones is when people take these teacher plants, alleged teacher plants with alleged, spiritual journeymen. It's tourism in a way. It's drugs. It's tourism. But ayahuasca is one of the big ones. It's a big hit these days. Mescaline was a big one back in the 70s, I remember, and peyote. These can be great things for the person that's done their work and confronted, all their issues about their social programming. They're getting closer to the core. Then it can be a real eye-opener, a real enlightening journey, but for most of the public, it's just disastrous. I'm still working with people who have done some of their trips up to 10 years ago, and don't do that. All right, it's just not worth the risk. For the rest of you that are feeling these things through these awakenings, even the simple exercises that I give people to start them in their shamanic journey, making your own divination system, and another exercise for programming an inanimate object with an animate life signature. When people will do that, and then all of a sudden they're just like, whoa, I don't know if I can do this. This is a bit much for me. Because they start to see how much power they have at their fingertips. And then they wonder if they're going to abuse it, if they wonder if they're going to use it wrong or so on. Well, that's what your shamanic teacher's for. That's what your shaman's for, to help you through that training process in a safe and wise way. So people, when you're going along with the programs that I offer with Elisa or by myself, it's communication of what you're going through is so important. In that you need to write don't think you're bothering us with anything. Just give us some bullet points about these are the things that I'm feeling. When I think of this, I feel this. If I read this, I feel this other sensations and there's other things happening in my body and my mind. And we'll help you through that. All right. Yes, sometimes it might have to be just a real appointment to get in there for a while and just dig really deep and give you a full plan on how to proceed. The one thing that I want to say too is these are usually really good signs. They might not feel very comfortable at the moment, but it's also one of these classic markers that you could be, if you're experiencing these things by reading these types of information or having these experiences after these exercises, it could be that your soul really wants to just jump out of that program box. The issue is the mind can make a decision and a quick change like that, just in an instant. The body is dictated by the constant of time on this planet. And there is such a thing as time. And I keep saying, if somebody tries to convince you differently, hold their head underwater and see how fast they run out of time. Time's real, people. It's very linear, but it does exist. And your body is dictated by the constant of time. So, and you need to get through that in a way that's beneficial for you without a lot of chaos in there. Yeah, you can shed some things, but even looking at things like a clearing and changing period, like dragonflies do, like butterflies do, they go into this period of stasis and they have to allow the changes to happen so they can come out as that new being. Well, the same thing with human beings as well. You get a point where it feels like you're falling behind. while you're going through these changes and very important catalyst and clearing period, rebuilding period. But if you allow yourself to go through that, catch-up time is really easy because you're a new person that's equipped to catch up that quick and go even faster. Hope this was a little bit informative. And if you got any questions about that, give a comment. Catch you guys later.